So another big part of this Follow Mission Made is that made piece. How have you seen God making you over the years? What are some like marker moments where you're like, man, God was shaping me, he was making me into something new?
I was the first person, as far as I know, in my family to ever even go to college. I had no need to go to college. I didn't like school. And then I ended up going to seminary. Then eventually I ended up going to graduate school. And I saw and still see what God used that to do, not just teaching me theology, but teaching me, giving me time to grow up. Other things too, like I mentioned about the transition we made from the first church that we were. And when we did that, 75% of the people left, and it was extremely painful for us because they were friends and family and things like that. And so we had to make a lot of decisions to continue to follow. And in it, God taught us a lot of things.
That is the hard part of making. Making. I mean, I am grateful as a younger leader, grateful, how you guys have walked through that. Shay and I have looked to that for years of like, how are we gonna go through this?
Right. And I mean, there's personal stuff too, just saying yes again. For example, like every married couple, you go to bed at night and it hasn't been a fun day and it got worse. And you're angry and I get into bed and all I want to do is to communicate that right now I'm mad and I don't want to have anything to do with you. But then knowing what God has to say about it. And it's for me, and I think for most people, it's a huge act of the will just to turn over and turn toward her and say, I was wrong. And I'm sorry. And God uses all of those things to hammer us into the shape that he wants and to sharpen us so that he can use us. So you're right, most of what he does in doing that is not fun. You do realize after a while, he didn't promise us fun. He just promised to make us into somebody that looked like Jesus.